there is no evidence of indirect percussion using a punch before the Mesolithic period. Now this can be true for the European Mesolithic, but the same cannot be said about the Indian Mesolithic. Possibly this method existed before, because here what is a very typical feature of the Indian subcontinent, especially these blade using tradition, you have a continuity of blade using tradition. Starting from the earliest date that we now have, say about 41,900 before present, from a site Metakheri in Narmada Valley. So from there till even the recent times, you see that there is a tradition of making blades. The characteristics of these blade products, that is, I'm talking about the Mesolithic, are Indian Mesolithic, are intermediate between indirect percussion and pressure flaking, and sometimes difficult to distinguish between the two. Now, what is pressure flaking? Here, blades are removed by pressure, although the core is often shaped out using other techniques. Small platforms were made along the edge of the core. In some cases, the core was further prepared by making a ridge on it by alternate flaking. Then pressure is applied. In indirect percussion, you saw that there was a punch, and on which there were, some tapping blows were made. But in pressure, you're just applying pressure with a chisel or something like that. And there, the sitting posture or the standing posture of the maker is very important. The point which applies the pressure can be made of tusk or antler. Thus, this technique requires more equipment, and of course, it requires a greater specialization. In some prehistoric specimens, signs of heating are also evident, and this requires very fine-grained raw material and leads to maximum precision. Now, what is retouching, which I just briefly touched upon? Excepting the very early tools, almost all tools of subsequent periods show that after the flake was removed from the core, the edges of the flake or the core itself have been marked by further chipping, sometimes partial or sometimes all around. This is what is called retouching. Many of the blade tools were retouched, and this technique was perfected during the Upper Paleolithic and the Mesolithic period. A number of special techniques included among retouching were also used in tool manufacture. This is called the microburine blow technique and the burine blow technique. These geometric microliths, which are in the shape of isosceles triangle or scalene triangle, they have been named as such by archaeologists. They are made by this microburine technique. Now, this is the microburine technique that I just mentioned. You can see the two triangles coming off, where the arrows you can see at the tip of the blades. So there you can see two detached geometric microliths coming out. Now, it is with this I end my discussion on the Upper Paleolithic and Mesolithic cultures. As you realize, it's a very, very vast subject. What I just tried to do was give you a basic outline of these cultures.